everyone, and welcome to our show. We're so glad that you're watching. Our class has put a lot of effort into this show for the past semester, and we really hope that you enjoy it. Thank you so much, and now enjoy the Comedy of Errors.
What is good, dudes and foxy mamas, and welcome to the Comedy of Errors set in 1970 San Francisco. We begin with Act 1, Scene 1. Enters Salona the Duchess of Ephesus, with Aegean the Merchant of Syracuse, jailer, and other attendants.
Proceed, Salona, to procure my fall, and by the doom of death, and woes and all.
Merchant of Syracuse, plead no more. I am not partial to infringe our laws. The enmity and discord which of late sprung from the rancorous outrage of your duchess to merchants are well-dealing countrymen who, wanting guilders to redeem their lives, have sealed his rigorous statutes with their bloods, excludes all pity from our threatening looks. For since the mortal and intestine jars twixt thy seditious countrymen and us, it hath in solemn synods been decreed, both by the Syracusans and ourselves, to admit no traffic to our adverse towns. Nay more, if any born at Ephesus, been seen at Syracusan marts and fairs, again if any Syracusan born, come to the bay of Ephesus, he dies. His goods confiscate to the duchess's dispose, unless 1,000 marks be levied, to quit the penalty and to ransom him. Thy substance, valued at the highest rate, cannot amount unto 100 marks. Therefore, by law, thou art condemned to die.
Yet this my comfort, when your words are done, my woes and likewise with the evening sun.
Well, Syracusans, say in brief the cause why thou departest from thy native home, and for what cause thou camest to Ephesus.
A heavier task could not have been imposed than I to speak my griefs unspeakable. Yet that the world may witness that my end was wrought by nature, not by vile offense. I'll utter what my sorrows give me leave. In Syracuse was I born and wed, unto a woman happy but for me. And by me had not her hap been bad, with her I lived in joy. Our wealth increased by prosperous voyages I often made to Epidamium, till my factor's death and the great care of goods at random left drew me from kind embracements of my spouse, from whom my absence was not 6 months old, before herself, almost at fainting under the pleasing punishment that women bear, had made provision for her following me, and soon and safe arrived where I was. There had she not been long, but she became a joyful mother of 2 goodly sons, and which was strange, the one so like the other, as could not be distinguished but by names. That very hour, and in the self same inn, a meaner woman was delivered of such a burden, male twins, both alike. Those for their parents were exceeding poor. I bought and brought up to attend my sons. My wife, not meanly proud of 2 such boys, made daily motions for our home return. Unwillingly, I agreed. Alas, too soon we came aboard. A league from Epidamian had we sailed, before the always wind-obeying deep gave any tragic instance of our harm. But longer did we not retain much hope, for what obscured light the heavens did grant did but convey into our fearful minds a doubtful warrant of immediate death, which though myself would gladly have embraced, yet the incessant weepings of my wife, weeping before for what she saw must come, and piteous plainings of the pretty babes, that mourned for fashion, ignorant what to fear, forced me to say delays for them and me, and this it was, for other means was none. The sailors sought for safety by our boat, and left the ship, then sinking ripe to us. My wife, more careful for the latter born, had fastened him unto a small spare mast, such as seafaring men provide for storms. To him one of the other twins was bound, whilst I had been like heedful of the other. The children thus disposed, my wife and I, fixing our eyes on whom our care was fixed, fastened ourselves at either end the mast, and floating straight, obedient to the stream, was carried towards Corinth, as we thought. At length the sun, gazing upon the earth, dispersed those vapors that offended us, and by the benefit of his wished light, the seas waxed calm, and we discovered 2 ships from far making amain to us. Of Corinth that, of Epidarius this. But ere they came, oh, let me say no more, gather the sequel by that went before.
Nay, forward, old man, do not break off so. for we may pity, though not pardon thee.
Oh, had the gods done so, I had not now worthily termed them merciless to us. For ere the ships could meet by twice 5 leagues, we were encountered by a mighty rock, which being violently borne upon, our helpful ship was splitted in the midst, so that in this unjust divorce of us, fortune had left to both of us alike what to delight in, what to sorrow for. Her part, poor soul, seeming as burdened with lesser weight, but not with lesser woe, was carried with more speed before the wind, and in our sight they 3 were taken up, by fishermen of Corinth, as we thought. At length another ship had seized on us, and knowing whom it was their hap to save, gave heedful welcome to their shipwrecked guests, and would have reft the fishers of their prey had not their bark been very slow of sail. And therefore homeward did they bend their course. Thus have you heard me severed from my bliss, that by misfortunes was my life prolonged, to tell sad stories of my own mishaps.
And for the sake of them thou sorrowest for, do me the favor to dilate at full. What have befallen of them and thee till now?
My youngest boy, and yet my eldest care, at 18 years became inquisitive after his brother, and importuned me that his attendant, so his case was like, reft of his brother, but retained his name, might bear him company in the quest of him. Whom whilst I labored of a love to see, I hazarded the loss of whom I loved. 5 summers have I spent in furthest Greece, roaming clean through the bounds of Asia, and, coasting homeward, came to Ephesus, hopeless to find, yet loath to leave unsought, or that, or any place that harbors men. But here must end the story of my life, and happy were I in my timely death, could all my travels warn me they live.
Hapless Aegean whom the fates have marked, to bear the extremity of dire mishap, now trust me, were it not against our laws, against my crown, my oath, my dignity, which princesses would they may not disannul, my soul should sue as advocate for thee. But though thou art adjudged to the death, and past sentence may not be recalled, but to our honor's great disparagement, yet I will favor thee in what I can. Therefore, merchant, I limit thee this day to seek thy life by beneficial help. For all the friends thou hast in Ephesus, beg thou or borrow to make up the sum, and live. If no, then thou art doomed to die. Jailer, take him to thy custody.
I will, my lord.
Hopeless and helpless doth Aegeon wend, but to procrastinate his lifeless end.
Oh my god. Oh, so sorry. Oh, Aegean. This is so sad. Okay, sorry. Excuse me. We now begin Act 1, Scene 2, with Antipholus of Syracuse, first merchant, and Dromio of Syracuse.
Therefore give out you are of Epidemium, lest that your goods too soon be confiscate. This very day a Syracusian merchant is apprehended for arrival here, and not being able to buy out his life, according to the statute of the town, dies ere the weary sun set in the west. Anyways, there's your money I had to keep, bro.
He gives money.
Bear to the centaur where we host, and stay there, Dromio, till I come to thee. With this hour it'll be dinner time. Till that, I'll view the manners of this town, persuade the traders, gaze upon the buildings, and then return and sleep within mine hotel. And with long travel, I am stiff and weary. Get thee away.
Many a man would take you at your word, and go indeed, having so good a mien.
Dromio of Syracuse exits.
A trusty villain, sir, that very oft, when I am dull with care and melancholy, lightens my humor with his merry jests. What, will you walk with me about the town, and then go to my hotel and dine with me?
I'm invited, sir, to certain merchants, of whom I hope to make such benefit. I crave your pardon, soon at 5 o'clock. Please you, I'll meet with you upon the mart, and afterwards consort you till bedtime. My present business calls me from you now.
Farewell till then. I will go and lose myself and wander up and down to view the city.
Dude, I commend you to your own content.
He exits.
He commends me to my own content, commends me to the thing I cannot get. I to the world am like a drop of water, that in the ocean seeks another drop, who falling there to find his fellow forth, unseen, inquisitive, confounds himself. So I, to a mother and a brother, in quest of them, unhappy, lose myself.
Enter Dromio of Ephesus.
Here comes the almanac of my true date. What now? How chanst thou return so soon?
Return so soon, rather approach too late. The captain burns, the pig falls from the spit, the cloth hath struck in 12 a bell. My mistress has made it out upon my cheek. She is hot because the meat is cold. The meat is cold because you have come not home. You come not home because you have no stomach. You have no stomach, having broke your fast. But we that know what 'tis to fast and pray are penitent for your default today.
Stop in your wind, sir. Tell me this, I pray. Where have you left the money I gave you?
Oh, 6 pence that I had it Wednesday last, to pray the saddler for my mistress's crupper. The saddler had it, sir. I kept it not.
I am not in a supportive mood now. Tell me, not dally not. Where is the money? We being strangers here, how darest thou trust such great a charge in thy own custody?
I pray you, jest, sir, as you sit at dinner. From my mistress come you in post. If I return, I shall be post indeed, for she will scorn your fault upon my pate. Methinks your ma, like mine, should be your clock, and strike you home without a messenger.
Come, Dromio, come. These jests are out of season. Reserve them till a merrier hour than this. Where is the gold I gave charge to thee?
To me, sir, why you gave no gold to me?
Come on, sir knave. Have you done your foolishness? Tell me, hast thou disposed thy charge?
My charge was but to fetch you from the mark, home to your house, the Phoenix, sir, to dinner. My mistress and her sister stays for you.
Now, as I am a Christian, answer me, in what safe place have you bestowed my money? Or I shall break that merry sconce of yours and stand on tricks when I am disposed. Where is the 1,000 marks thou hast of me?
I have some marks of yours upon my pate, some of my mistress's marks upon my shoulders, but not 1,000 marks between you both. If I should pay your worship those again, perchance you will not bear them patiently.
Thy mistress's marks? What mistress, slave, hast thou?
Your worship's wife, my mistress at the Phoenix, she that doth fast till you come home to dinner, and prays that you will hie thee home to dinner.
He beats Dromio.
What wilt thou flog me in thus unto my face, being forbid? There, take that, sir knave.
Oh, what means you, sir? For God's sake, hold your hands. Nay, and you will not, sir. I'll take my heels.
Dromio of Ephesus exits.
Upon my life, by some device or other, the villain is a rot of all my money. They say this town is full of cozenage, nimble jugglers that deceive the eye, dark-working sorcerers that change the mind, soul-killing witches that deform the body, disguised cheaters, prancing mountebanks, and many such like liberties of sin. If it proves so, I will be gone the sooner. I'll to the centaur to seek this slave. I greatly fear my money is not safe.
Uh-oh, things are getting a bit freaky deaky here. Let's see where we go with Act 2, Scene 1. Enter Adriana, wife to Antipholus of Ephesus, with Luciana, her sister.
Neither my husband nor the slave returned, that in such haste I sent to seek his master. Sure, Luciana, it is 2:00.
Perhaps the merchant hath invited him, and from the mart he's somewhere gone to dinner. Good sister, let us dine and never fret. A man is master of his livery. Time is their master, and when they see time, they'll go or come. If so, be patient, sister.
Why should their liberty than ours be more?
Because their business still lies outdoors.
Look, when I serve him so, he takes it ill.
Oh, no, it's the bridle of your will.
There's none but asses will be bridled so.
Why, headstrong liberty is lashed with woe. There is nothing situate under heaven's eye, but half his bound in earth, in sea, and sky. The beast, the fishes, and the winged foes are their male subjects and at their controls. Man, more divine, the master of all these, lord of the wide world and the wild watery seas, endued with intellectual sense and souls of more preeminence than fish and foes, are master to their females and their lords. Then let your will attend on their accords.
This servitude makes you to keep unwed.
Not this, but troubles of the marriage bed.
But were you wedded, you would bear some sway.
I'll learn them, though I'll practice your way.
How, if your husband starts some other where?
Till he come home again, I would forbear.
Patience unmoved. No marvel though she pause. They can be meek that have no other cause. A wretched soul, bruised with adversity, we bid be quiet when we hear it cry. But were we burdened with like weight of pain, as much or more we should ourselves complain. So thou, that hast no unkind mate to grieve thee, with urging helpless patience would relieve me. But if thou live to see like right bereft, this fool begged patience in thee will be left.
Well, I'll marry one day, but to try. Here comes your man, now is your husband mine.
In walks Dromio of Ephesus.
Say, is your tardy master now at hand?
Nay, he's at 2 hands with me, and that my 2 ears can witness.
Say, didst thou speak with him? Knowest thou his mind?
Aye, aye. He told me his mind upon my ear. Beshrew his hand, I scarce could understand it.
Spake he so doubtfully thou couldst not feel his meaning?
Nay, he struck so plainly I could feel too well his blows, and withal so doubtfully that I could scarce understand them.
But say, I prithee, is he coming home? It seems he hath great care to please his wife.
Why, mistress, sure, the master is horn mad.
Horn mad, thou villain?
I mean not cuckold mad, but sure he is stark mad. When I desired him to come home to dinner, he asked me for 1,000 marks in gold. "'Tis dinner time," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Your meat doth burn," quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Will you come?" quoth I. "My gold," quoth he. "Where's the marks I gave thee, villain? The pig," quoth I, "is burned." "My gold," quoth he. "My mistress, sir," quoth I. "Hang up thy mistress. I know not thy mistress. Out on thy mistress."
Quoth who?
Quoth my master. "I know," quoth he, "no house, no wife, no mistress. So that my errand do unto my tongue, I thank him. I bear home upon my shoulders, for in conclusion, he did beat me there."
Go back again, thou square, and fetch him home.
Go back again and be beaten new? For God's sake, send some other messenger.
Back, slave, or I will break thy pate across.
And he will breast that cross with another beating. Between you, I shall have a holy head.
Hence, prating peasant, fetch thy master home.
Am I so round with you as you with me? Like a football, you do spurn me thus. You spurn me hence, he will spurn me hither. If I last in this service, you must case me in leather.
He exits.
Why, how impatience loureth in your face!
His company must do his minions grace. Whilst I at home starve for a merry look, hath homely age thy alluring beauty took from my poor cheek? Then he hath wasted it. Are my discourses dull? Barren my wit? If voluble and sharp discourse be marred, unkindness blunts it more than marble hard. Do their gay vestments his affections bait? That's not my fault. He's master of my state. What ruins are in me that can be found by him not ruined? Then is he the ground of my defeatures. My decayed fare, a sunny look of his would soon repair. But too unruly dear he breaks the pale, and feeds from home. Poor, I am but his sail.
Self-harming jealousy, fie, beat it hence.
Unfeeling fools can with such wrongs dispense. I know his eye doth home which otherwhere, or else what lets it but he would be here? Sister, you know he promised me a chain. Would that alone a love he would detain, so he would keep fair quarter with his bread. I see the jewel best enameled will lose his beauty, yet the gold bides still that others touch, and often touching will wear gold. Yet no man that hath a name, by falsehood and corruption doth it shame. Since that my beauty cannot please his eye, I'll weep what's left away, and weeping die.
How many fond fools serve in mad jealousy?
Oh, poor Adriana. She should never have to feel that way. Ugh. Anyway, we now move on to Act 2, Scene 2. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse.
The gold I gave to Dromio is laid up safe at the How now, sir, is your merry humor altered? Your love strokes so jest with me again. You know no centaur, you receive no gold. Your mistress sent to have me home to dinner. My house was at the Phoenix. Wast thou mad? And thus so madly thou didst answer me.
What answer, sir? When I spake such a word?
Even now, even here, not a half an hour since.
I did not see you since you sent me hence, home to the centaur with the gold you gave me.
Villain, thou didst deny the gold receipt, and toldest me of a mistress and a dinner, for which I hope thou feltest what I was displeased.
I am glad to see you in this merry vein. What means this jest, I pray you, master? Tell me.
Yea, dost thou jeer and flout me in the teeth? Thinkest thou I jest? Hold, take thou that and that.
He beat
Hold,
you.
sir, for God's sake. Now your jest is earnest. Upon what bargain do you give it to me?
Because I familiarly sometimes do use you for my fool and chat with you. Your sauciness will jest upon my love and make a common of my serious hours. When the sun shines, let foolishness not make sport, but creeping crannies, when he hides his beams, if you will jest with me, know my aspects and fashion your demeanor to my looks, or I will beat this method in your sconce.
Sconce, you call it? So you would leave battering? I had rather have it ahead. And you use these blows long. I must get a sconce for my head, and ensconce it too, or else I shall seek my wit in my shoulders. But I pray you, sir, why am I beaten?
Dost thou not know?
Nothing, sir, but that I am beaten.
Shall I tell you why?
Ay, sir, and wherefore? For they say every why hath a wherefore.
Why, first for flouting me, and then, therefore, urging it the second time to me.
Was there ever any man thus beaten out of season? When in the why and the therefore is neither rhyme nor reason. Well, sir, I thank you.
Thank me for what?
Marry, sir, for this something that you gave me for nothing.
I'll make it amends next, to give you nothing for something. But say, sir, is it dinner time?
No, sir, I think the meat wants that I have.
In good time, sir, what's that?
Basting.
Well, sir, then, 'twould be dry.
If it be, sir, I pray you eat none of it.
Your reason?
Lest it make you choleric and purchase me another dry basting.
Well, sir, learn to jest in good time. There's a time for all things.
I durst have dined that before you were so choleric.
By what rule, sir?
Marry, sir, by rule is plain the plain pate of Father Time himself.
Let's hear it.
There's no time for man to recover his hair that grows bald by nature.
May he not do it in fine and recovery?
Yes, to pay a fine for a periwig and recover the lost hair of another man.
Why is time such a niggard of hair, being as it is so plentiful and excrement?
Because it is a blessing that he bestows upon beasts, and what he hath scanted men in hair, he hath given them in wit.
Why, but there's many a man hath more hair than wit.
Not a man of those, but he hath the wit to lose his hair.
Why thou dost conclude hairy men plain dealers without wit?
The plainer dealer, the sooner lost, yet he loseth in a kind of jollity.
For what reason?
For two, and sound ones too.
I pray not sound, I pray you.
Sure ones then.
Nay, not sure in a thing falsing.
Certain ones, then.
Name them.
The one, to save the money that he spends in tiring. The other, that at dinner he should not drop his porridge.
You would all this time have proved there is no time for all things.
Marry, and did, sir, namely, and in no time to recover hair lost by nature.
But your reason was not substantial. Why there's no time to recover.
Thus I mend it. Time himself is bald, and therefore, to the world's end, will have bald followers.
I knew 'twould be a bald conclusion. But soft, who wafts us yonder?
In walks Adriana, beckoning them, and Luciana.
Ay, Antipholus, look strange and frown. Some other foxy mamma hath thy sweet aspects. I am not Adriana, nor thy wife. The time was once when thou unurged wouldest vow that never words were music to thine ear, that never object pleasing in thine eye, that never touch well welcome to thy hand, that never meat sweet savored in thy taste, that unless I spake or looked or touched or carved to thee. How comes it now, my husband? Oh, how comes it that thou art then estranged from thyself? Thyself I call it, being strange to me, that undividable, incorporate, and better than thy dear self's better part. Ah, do not tear away thyself from me. For know, my love, as easy mayest thou fall, a drop of water in the breaking gulf, and take unmingled thence that drop again, without addition or diminishing. As take from me thyself, and not me too. How dearly would it touch thee to the quick, shouldst thou but hear I were licentious, and that this body consecrate to thee by ruffian lust should be contaminate? Wouldst thou not spit at me, and spurn at me, and hurl the name of husband in my face, and tear the stained skin off my harlot brow, and from my false hand cut the wedding ring, and break it with a deep divorcing vow? I know thou canst, and therefore thou do it. I am possessed with an adulterate blot. My blood is mingled with the crime of lust. For if we two be one and thou play false, I do digest the poison of thy flesh, being strumpeted by the contagion. Keep then fair league and truce with thy true bed. I live disdained, thou undishonored.
Plead you to me, fair dame. I know you not. In Ephesus I'm but 2 hours old, a stranger unto your town as to your talk, who every word by all my wit being scanned, once wit in all, one word to understand.
My brother, how the world has changed with you. Were you wont to use my sister thus? She sent for you by Dromio home to dinner.
By Dromio?
By me.
By thee, and this thou didst return from him, that he did buffet thee, and in his blows denied my house for his, and me for his wife.
Did you converse, sir, with this gentlewoman? And what is the course and drift of your compact?
Ay, sir, I never saw her till this time.
Villain, thou liest, for even her very words thou didst thou deliver to me on the mart.
I never spake with her in all my life.
How can she thus then call us by our names, unless it be by inspiration?
How grody it agrees with your gravity, to counterfeit thus grossly with your slave, abetting him to thwart me in my mood, be it my wrong, you are from me exempt. But wrong, not that wrong with the more contempt. Come, I'll fasten on this sleeve of thine. Thou art an elm, my husband, I a vine, whose weakness, married to thy stronger state, makes me with thy strength to communicate. If aught possess thee from me, it is dross, usurping ivy, briar, idle moss, who, all for want of pruning, with intrusion, infect thy sap and live on thy confusion.
To me she speaks, she moves me for her theme. What was I married to her in my dream? Or sleep I now and think I hear all this? What error drives our eyes and ears amiss? Until I know this sure uncertainty, I'll entertain the offered falsity.
Dromio, go bid the servants spread for dinner.
Oh, for my beat. I cross me a sinner. This is the fairyland. O spite of spites, we talk with goblins, owls, and spirits. If we obey them not, they will ensue. They'll suck our breath or pinch us black and blue.
Why proudest thou to thyself and answerest not? Ah, Dromio, thou snail, thou slug, thou sot.
I am transformed, master, am I not?
I think thou art in mine, and so am I.
Nay, master, both in mind and in my shape.
Thou hast thine own form.
No, I am an ape.
If thou art changed or not, 'tis an ass.
'Tis true, she rides me, and I long for grass. 'Tis so I am an ass. Else it could be never, but I should know her as well as she knows me.
Come, no longer will I be a fool, to put the finger in the eye and weep, whilst man and master laughs my woes to scorn. Come, sir, to dinner. Dromio, keep the gate. Husband, I'll dine above with you today, and shrive you of 1,000 idle pranks. Sirrah, if any ask you for your master, say he dines forth, and let no creature enter. Come, sister. Dromio, play the porter well.
Am I in earth, in heaven, or in hell? Sleeping or walking, mad or well advised? Known unto these, and to myself disguised, I'll say as they say, to preserve so, and in this mist all adventures go.
Master, shall I be porter at the gate?
Aye, and let none enter, lest I break your pate.
Come, Antipholus, we dine too late.
Oh, this got me bugging out a little bit. Well, we now start Act 3, Scene 1. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus, his man Dromio, Angelo the goldsmith, and Balthazar the merchant.
Good Senor Angelo, you must excuse us all. My wife is shrewish when I keep not hours. Say that I lingered with you at your shop to see the making of her carcanet, and that tomorrow you will bring it home. But here's a villain that would face me down. He met me on the mart, and that I beat him, and charged him with 1,000 marks in gold, and that I did deny my wife and house. Thou drunkard, thou, what didst thou mean by this?
Say what you will, sir, but I know what I know. That you beat me at the mart, I have your hand to show. If the skin were parchment and the blows you gave were ink, your own handwriting would tell you what I think.
I think thou art an ass.
Very so it doth appear. By the wrongs I suffer and the blows I bear, I should take being kicked, and being at pass, you would keep me from my heels, and beware of an ass.
You're sad, Senor Balthazar. Pray God our cheer may answer my good will and your good welcome here.
I hold your dainties cheap, sir, and your welcome dear.
O Senor Balthazar, either at flesh or fish, a table full of welcome makes scarce one dainty dish.
Good meat, sir, is common, that every trail affords.
And welcome more common, for that's nothing but words.
Small cheer and great welcome makes a merry feast.
A to a niggardly host, and more sparing guest, but though my cates be mean, take them in good part. Better cheer may you have, but not with better heart.
He attempts to open the door.
But soft, my door is locked. Go bid them let us in.
Maud, Bridget, Marion, Cicely, Jillian, Jen.
Mome, Malthorse, Captain, Coxcomb, Idiot, Patch, either get thee from the door, or sit down at the hatch. Dost thou not conjure for wetches, that thou callest for such store? When one is too many, get thee from the door.
What Patch is made our porter? My master stays in the street.
Let him walk from whence he came, lest he catch colds on feet.
Who talks within there? Ho, open the door.
Right, sir. I'll tell you when you tell me wherefore.
Wherefore? For my dinner. I have not dined today.
Nor today here you must not. Come again when you may.
What art thou that keepest me out from the house I owe?
The porter for this time, sir, and my name is Dromio.
Oh, villain, thou hast stolen both mine office and my name. The O never got my credit, the other minkle blame. If thou hadst been Dromio today in my place, thou wouldst have changed thy face for a name, or thy name for an ass.
In comes Luce, unseen by Antipholus of Ephesus and his company.
What a coil is there, Dromio? Who are those at the gate?
Let my master in, Luce.
Faith, no, he comes too late. And so tell your master.
Oh Lord, I must laugh. Have you with this proverb, shall I set in my staff?
How about you with another? That's when can you tell?
If thy name be called Luce, thou hast answered him well.
You hear me, you minion. You'll let us in, I hope.
I
And,
thought to have asked you.
and you said no.
So come help, well struck. There was a blow for a blow.
Without baggage, let me in.
Can you tell for whose sake?
Master, knock the door hard.
Let him knock till it ache.
You'll cry for this, minion, if I beat the door down.
What needs all that? And a pair of stocks in the town.
Enter Adriana, unseen by Antipholus of Ephesus and his company.
Who is that at the door that keeps all this noise?
By my troth, your town is troubled with unruly boys.
Are you there, wife? You might have come before.
Your wife, Sir Knave? Peace out, home fry.
Adriana and Luce exit.
If you went in pain, master, this knave would go sore.
Here is neither cheer, sir.
In debating which was best, we shall part with neither.
They stand at the door, master. Bid them welcome hither.
There is something in the wind that we cannot get in.
You would say so, master, if your garments were thin. Your cake here is warm within. You stand here in the cold. It would make a man mad as a buck to be so bought and sold.
Go fetch me something. I'll break open the gate.
Break any breaking here, and I'll break your knave's pate.
A man may break a word with you, sir, and your words are but wind. Aye, and break it in your face, and so he breaks it not behind.
It seems thou wants breaking upon thee. Hind.
Here's too much. Out upon thee, I pray thee. Let me in.
Ay, when fowls have no feathers and fish have no fins.
Well, I'll break in. Go borrow me a crow.
Crow without a feather. Master, you mean so? For a fish without a fin, there's no fowl without a feather. If a crow help us in, sirrah, we'll pluck a crow together.
Go, get thee gone. Fetch me an iron crow.
Have patience, sir. Oh, let it not be so. Herein you war against your reputation, and draw within the compass of suspect the unviolated honor of your wife. Once this, your long experience of her wisdom, her sober virtue, years, and modesty, plead on her some part caused to you unknown. And doubt not, sir, but she will well excuse why at this time the doors are made against you. Be ruled by me, depart in patience, and let us see the tiger all go to dinner. And about evening come yourself alone to know the reason of this strange restraint. If by strong hand you offer to break in, now in the stirring passage of the day, a vulgar comment will be made of it. And not supposed by the common root against your yet unguarded estimation, that may with foul intrusion enter in and dwell upon your grave when you are dead. For slander lives upon succession, forever housed where it gets possession.
You have prevailed. I will depart in quiet, and in despite of mirth, mean to be merry. I know a wench of excellent discourse, pretty and witty, wild and yet too gentle. There will we dine, this woman that I mean, my wife, but I protest without desert, hath oftentimes upbraided me withal. To her will we to dinner. Get you home, and fetch the chain. By this I know 'tis made. Bring it, I pray you, to the porpentine, for there's the house. That chain will I bestow, be it for nothing but to spite my wife, upon my hostess there. Good sir, make haste, since mine own doors refuse to entertain me. I'll knock elsewhere to see if they'll disdain me.
I'll meet you at that place some hour hence.
Do so. This jest shall cost me some expense. Peace out, home fry.
Jeepers creepers, what is going on? Well, we now start Act 3, Scene 2 with Luciana and Antipholus to Syracuse.
And may it be that you have quite forgot a husband's office? Shall Antipholus even in the spring of love thy love spring is wrought? Shall love in building grow so ruinous? If you did wed my sister for her wealth, then for her wealth's sake use her with more kindness. Or if you like elsewhere, do it by stealth. Muffle your false love with some show of blindness. Let not my sister read it in your eye. Be not thy tongue thy own shame's order. Look sweet, speak fair, become disloyalty. A pair of vice like virtue's harbinger. Bear a fair presence, though your heart be tainted. Teach sin the carriage of a holy saint. Be secret false. What need she be acquainted? What simple thief brags of his own attaint? 'Tis double wrong to trance with your bed, and let her read it in thy looks that board. Shame hath a bustard fame well managed. Ill deed is double with an evil word. Alas, poor woman, make us but believe, being compacts of credit, that you love us. Though others have the arm, show us the sleeve. We in your motion turns, and you may move us. Then, gentle brother, get you in again. Comfort my sister, cheer her, call her wife. 'Tis holy sport to be a little vain, when the sweet breath of flattery conquers strife.
Sweet mistress, what your name is else I know not, nor by what yonder do you do hit of mine, lest in your knowledge and your grace you show not. Then are earth's wonder more than earth divine. Teach me, dear creature, how to think and speak. Lay open to my earthly gross conceit, smolder in errors and feeble, shallow, weak, and folded meaning of your words deceit. Against the soul's pure truth, why labor you to make it wander in the unknown field? Are you a god? Would you create me anew? Transform me then, and to your power I yield. But if that I am I, then well, I know your weeping sister is no wife of mine, nor to her bed no homage do I owe. Far more to you do I decline. Oh, train me not, sweet mermaid, with thy note to drown me in thy sister's tear flood of tears. Sing, siren, for thyself, and I will dote. Spread o'er the silver waves with thy golden hairs, and as a bed I'll take thee, and there lie, and in thy glorious supposition think he gains by death, and hath such means to die. Let love, being light, be drowned if she sinks.
What? Are you mad that you do reason so?
Not mad, but mated. How, I do not know.
It is the fault that springeth from your eye.
For gazing on your beams, fair sun, being by.
Gaze when you should, and thou wilt clear your sight.
As good to wink, sweet love, as look on night.
Why call you me love? Call my sister so.
Thy sister's sister.
That's my sister.
No, it is thyself, my own self's better part. Mine eyes, clear eye, my heart's dearer heart, my food, my fortune, and my sweet hope's aim, my soul earth's heaven, and my heaven's claim.
All this my sister is, or else should be.
Call thyself sister sweet, for I am thee, thee will I love, and thee will lead my life. Thou hast no husband yet, nor no wife. Give me thy hand.
Oh, soft sir, hold you still. I'll fetch my sister to get her goodwill.
She exits, and in runs Dromio of Syracuse.
Why now, Dromio? Why runnest thou so fast?
You know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man? Am I myself?
Thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself.
I am an ass. I am a woman's man, and besides myself.
What woman's man, and how besides thyself?
Marry, sir, besides myself, I am due to a woman, one that claims me, one that haunts me, one that will have me.
What claim lays she to thee?
Marry, sir, such claim as you would lay to your horse, and she would have me a beast. Not that I, being a beast, she would have me, but that she, being very beastly creature, lays claim to me.
What is she?
A very reverend body, such one as a man may not speak of without he say, Sir Reverence. I have but lean luck in this match, and yet she's a wondrous fat marriage.
How dost thou mean a fat marriage?
Marry, sir, she's the kitchen wench, and all grease, and I know not what to use to her but to make a lamp out of her, and run from her by her own light. I warrant her rags and the towel in them will burn a Poland winter. If she lives till doomsday, she will burn a week longer than the whole world.
What complexion is she of?
Swart, like my shoe, but her face nothing like so clean kempt. For why? She sweats. A man may go over shoes in the grime of it.
That's a fault that water will mend.
No, sir, 'tis in grain. Noah's flood could not do it.
What's her name?
Nell, sir, but her name and 3/4, that's an L in 3/4, will not measure from hip to hip.
Then she bears some breath.
No longer from head to foot than from hip to hip. She is spherical, like a globe. I can find countries in her.
In what part of her body stands Ireland?
Marry, sir, in her buttocks. I found it out by the bogs.
Where's Scotland?
I found it by the bareness, hard in the palm of her hand.
Where France?
In her forehead, armed and reverted, making war against her hair.
Where England?
I looked for the chalky cliffs. I could not find whiteness in them, but I guess it stood in her chin by the salt riem that ran between France and it.
Where's Spain?
Faith, I saw it not, but felt it hot in her breath.
Where America, the Indies?
Oh, sir, upon her nose, all embellished with rubies, carbuncles, sapphires, declining their rich aspect to the hot breath of Spain, who sent whole armadas of carracks to be ballast at her nose.
Where stood Belga, the Netherlands?
Oh, sir, I do not look so low. To conclude, this drudge or diviner laid claim to me, called me Dromio, swore I was assured to her, told me what privy marks I had about me, as the mark on my shoulder, the mole in my neck, the great wart on my left arm, that I amazed ran from her as a witch. And I think, if my breast had not been made of faith, and my heart of steel, she had transformed me to a curdled dog, and made me turneth the wheel.
We'll hie thee presently, post to the road, and if in the wind blow any way from shore, I will not harbor in this town tonight. If any bark put forth, come to the mart, where I will walk till thou return to me. If everyone knows us, and we know none, 'tis time, I think, we trudge, pack, and be gone.
As from a bear, a man would run from his life, so fly I from her that would be my wife.
He exits.
There's none but witches do inhabit here, and therefore 'tis high time that I were hence. She that doth call me husband, even my soul doth for a wife adore. But her fair sister possessed me with such gentle, sovereign grace, with such enchanting presence and discourse, hath almost made me a traitor to myself. But least, myself being guilty to self-wrong, I'll stop mine ears against the mermaid's song.
Enter Angelo with the chain.
Master Antipholus.
Aye, that's my name.
I know it well, sir. Lo, here's the chain. I thought to have taken it to you at the Porpentine. The chain unfinished made me stay thus long.
He gives Antipholus the chain.
What is your will that I shall do with this?
What? Please yourself, sir. I have made it for you.
Made it for me, sir. I spoke it not.
Not once nor twice, but 20 times you have. Go home with it and please your wife withal. And soon at supper time I'll visit you and then receive my money for the chain.
I pray you, sir, receive the money now. For fear at least you'll never see the chain nor money more.
You are a merry man, sir. Fare you well.
He exits.
What I should think of this, I cannot tell. But this I think, there's no man so vain that would refuse so fair an offered chain. I see a man here needs not live but shifts. When in the streets he meets such golden gifts, all to the mart, and there for Dromio stay, if any ship put out, then straight away.
Oh my god, now it gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, sorry. Okay, anyways, it's now time for Act 4, Scene 1. Enter a second merchant, Angela the goldsmith, and an officer.
You know, since Penn the sum is due, and since I have not much important you, no, now I have not, but that I am bound to put and want a gods for my village, therefore may person sacrifice, or I attach you by this officer.
Even just the sum that I do owe to you is growing to me by Antipholus. And in the instant that I met with you, he had of me a chain. At 5 o'clock I shall receive the money for the same. Please, if you walk with me down to his house, I will discharge my bond and thank you too.
Enter Antipholus of Ephesus and Dromio of Ephesus from the courtesans.
That labor may you save. See where he comes.
While I go to the goldsmith's crib, go thou, and buy a rope send, that will I bestow among my wife and her confederates, for locking me out of my doors by day. But soft, I say to the goldsmith, get thee gone, buy thou a rope, and bring it home to me.
I buy £1,000 a year. I buy a rope.
Dromio exits.
A man is well hoped up that trusts to you. I promised your presence and the chain, but neither chain nor goldsmith came to me. Be like you, thought our love would last too long, if it were chained together, and therefore came not.
He hands a paper to Antipholus.
Saving your merry humor, here's the note. How much your chain weighs to the utmost carat, the fineness of the gold and chargeful fashion, which doth amount to 3 odd ducats more. Then I stand indebted to this gentleman. I pray you, see him presently discharged, for he is bound to sea and stays but for it.
I'm not furnished with the present money. Besides, I got a skitty into town. Good senor, take the stranger to my crib, and with you take the chain, it bid my wife. Disperse the sum on the receipt thereof. Perchance I will be there as soon as you.
Then you will bring the chain to her yourself.
No, bear it with you, lest I come not time enough.
Well, sir, I will. Have you the chain about you?
And if I have not, sir, I hope you have, or else you may return without your money.
Nay, come, I pray you, sir, give me the chain. Both wind and tide stays for this gentleman, and I, to blame, have held him here too long.
Good Lord, you used its alliance to excuse me, your breach of promise to the Porpentine. I should have chid you for not bringing it. But like a shrew, you first began to brawl.
The hour's still on. I pray you to this patch.
You hear how he importunes me? The chain!
Why, give it to my wife and fetch your money.
Come, you know I gave it you even now. Either send the chain or send by me some token.
Fie, now you run this humor out of breath. Come, where's the chain? I pray you, let me see it.
My business cannot both the dealings. Good sir, say, will you answer me? Oh no. If not, I leave him to the officer.
I answer you? What should I answer you?
The money that you owe me for the chain.
I owe you none till I receive the chain.
You know I gave it you half an hour since.
You gave me none. You wrong me much to say so.
You wrong me more, sir, in denying it. Consider how it stands upon my credit.
Well, officer, arrest him at my suit.
I do, and charge you in the Duchess's name to obey me.
This touches me in reputation. Either consent to pay this sum for me, or I attach you by this officer.
Consent to pay thee, that I never had? Arrest me, foolish fellow, if thou darest.
Here is thy fee. Arrest him, officer.
He gives money.
I would not spare my brother in this case if he should scorn me so apparently.
I do arrest you, sir. You hear the suit.
To obey thee till I give thee bail. But sirrah, you shall buy this sport as dear, as all the metal in your shop will answer.
Sir, I shall have law in Ephesus. To your notorious name, I doubt it not.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse from the bay.
Master, there is a bark of expedamium that stays but till her owner comes aboard. And there, sir, she bears way. Our fraughtage, sir, I have conveyed aboard, and I have brought the oil, the balsam, and the aqua vitae. The ship is in her trim, the merry wind blows far from the land. They stay for not all, but for their owner, master, and yourself.
How now, a madman? Why thou peevish sheep? What ship of epidemium stays for me?
A ship you sent me to hire Watfidge.
Thou drunken slave, I sent thee for a rope, and told thee to what purpose and what end.
You sent me for a rope's end as soon. You sent me for the bay, sir, for a bark.
I will debate this matter at more leisure, and teach your ears to listen me with more heed. Adriana, villain, hie thee straight.
He gives a key.
Give her this key, and tell her in the desk that covered over with Turkish tapestry, there is a purse of ducats. Let her send it. Tell her I'm arrested in the street, and that shall bail me. Hie thee, slave, be gone, an officer till prison till it come.
All but Dromio of Syracuse exit.
To Adriana, that is where we dined. For the dusk will claim me for her husband. She's too big, I hope, for me to confess. Thither I must, although against my will, for servants must their masters mine fulfill.
Dudes, it is pure chaos at this point, isn't it? Let's hope things get cleared up with Act 4, Scene 2. We have Adriana and Luciana.
Luciana, did he tempt thee so? Mightest thou perceive austerely in his eye that he did plead in earnest, yea or no? Looked he red or pale, or sad or merrily? What observation madest thou in this case of his heart's meteors tilting in his face?
First, he denied you had in him no right.
He meant he did me none, the more my spite.
Then swore he that he was a stranger here.
True he swore, yet forsworn he were.
Then I pleaded I for you.
And what said he?
The love I begged for you, he begged of me.
Jeepers creepers, with what persuasion did he tempt thy love?
With words that in honest suit might move. First, he did praise my beauty, then my speech.
Didst speak him fair?
Have patience, I beseech.
I cannot, nor I will not hold me still. My tongue, though not my heart, shall have his will. He is deformed, crooked, old and sere, ill-faced, worse-bodied, shapeless everywhere. Vicious, ungentle, foolish, blunt, unkind, stigmatical and making worse in mind.
Who would be jealous then of such a one? No evil lost his wails when it's gone.
But I think him better than I say. Smooth plays Shakespeare. And yet would hear in others' eyes were worse. Far from her nest the lapwing cries away. My heart prays for him, though my tongue do curse.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse with the key.
Here go, the desk, the purse. Sweet, now make haste.
How hast thou lost thy breath?
By running fast.
Where is thy master, Dromio? Is he well?
No, he's in Tartar limbo, worse than hell. A devil in the everlasting garment hath him, whose hard heart is buttoned up with steel. They find a fairy pitiless and rough, a wolf, a nay worse, a fellow all in bluff, a back friend, a shoulder clapper, one that countermines the passage of allies, creeks and narrow lands, a hound that runs counter and yet draws dry foot well, one that before judgment carries poor souls to hell.
Why, man, what is the matter?
I do not know the matter. He is rested on the case.
What, is he arrested? Tell me at whose suit?
I know not at whose suit he is arrested well, but is in a suit of buff which rested him. That I can tell. Will you send him, mistress, redemption, the money in his desk?
Go fetch it, sister.
Luciana exits.
This I wonder at, that he, unknown to me, should be in debt. Tell me, was he arrested on a band?
Not on a band, but on a stronger thing. A chain. A chain, do you not hear it ring?
What, the chain?
No, no, the bell. 'Tis time that I were gone. It was two ere I left him, and now the clock strikes one.
The hours come back. That did I never hear.
Oh yes, and if any hour meets Sergeant, he turns back for very fear.
Trippin, as if time were in debt. How fondly dost thou reason.
Time is a very bankrupt, and owes more than he's worth to season. Nay, he is a thief too. Have you not heard men say that time comes stealing on by night and day? If he be in debt and theft, and a sergeant in the way, hath he not reason to turn back an hour in a day?
In walks Luciana with the purse.
Go, Dromio, there's the money. Bear it straight, and bring thy master home immediately.
Dromio exits.
Come, sister, I am pressed down with conceit. Conceit, my comfort and my injury.
We now start Act 4, Scene 3. Enter Antipholus of Syracuse wearing the chain.
There's not a man I meet, but doth salute me, as if I were their well-acquainted friend. And every one doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some give me thanks for kindness, some offer me commodities to buy. Even now, a tailor called me in his shop, showed me the silks that he had bought from me, and withal took measure of my body. Sure, these are all imaginary wiles, and Lapland sorcerers inhabit here.
Enter Dromio of Syracuse with the purse.
Master, here's the gold you sent me for. What have you got the picture of old Adam new apparel?
What gold is this? What Adam dost thou mean?
Not that Adam that keeps the paradise, but the Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in the calf skin, that you were killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel, and bid you forsake your liberty.
I understand thee not.
No? Why, 'tis a plain case. He that went like a base voile in a case of leather. In man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired, gives them a sob and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest and do more exploits with his mace than a Morris pike.
What, thou meanest an officer?
Ay, sir, to the sergeants of the band. He that brings any man to answer it and breaks his band. One that thinks a man always going to bed and says, God give you good rest.
Well, sir, there's rest in your foolery. Is there any ship put forth tonight? May we be gone?
Why, sir, I brought you word an hour since the bark expedition put forth tonight. And there you were hindered by the surgeon to tarry for the hoy delay. Here are the angels you sent for to deliver you.
He gives the purse.
Well, the fellow is distracted, and so am I. And here we wander in illusions. Some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Enter a courtesan.
Well met, Master Antipholus. I see, sir, you have found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Satan, avoid. I charge thee, tempt me not.
Master, is this Mr. Satan?
It is the devil.
Nay, she is worse. She's the devil's dame. And here she comes in the habit of light wretch. And thereof comes that wretch to say, God damn me. That is much to say, God make me a light wretch. It is written, they appeared to men like angels of light. Light is an effect of fire, and fire will burn. Egro, light wretches will burn. Come not near her.
Your man and you are marvelous merry, sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here.
Master, if you do, expect spoon meat, or bespeak a long spoon.
Why, Dromio?
Mary, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid then, fiend. What tellest thou me of supping? Thou art, as you all are all, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or for my diamond the chain you promised, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
Some devils ask but the parings of one's nail, a rush, a hair, a drop of blood, a pin, a nut, a cherry stone, but she, more cotivious, would have a chain. Master, be wise, and if you give it to her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray you, sir, my ring or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch. Come, Dromio, let us go.
Fly pride, says the peacock, mistress that you know.
Antipholus and Dromio exit.
Now at a doubt Antipholus is mad, else would he never so demean himself. Or he hath a mine worth 40 ducats, and for the same he promised me a chain. Both one and other he denies me now. The reason that I gather he is mad, besides this present instance of his rage, is a mad tale he told today at dinner, of his own doors being shut against his entrance. But like his wife, acquainted with his fits, on purpose shut the doors against his way. My way is now to hie home to his house, and tell his wife that being lunatic, he rushed into my house and took perforce my ring away. This course I fittest choose, for 40 ducats is too much to lose.
What is going on? Oh my goodness. Anyway, we now move on to Act 4, Scene 4. Enter Antipholus of Ephesus with the officer.
Fear me not, man, I will not break away. I'll give thee, ere I leave thee, so much money, to warrant thee as I am rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today, and will not lightly trust the messenger that I should be attached in Ephesus. I tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears.
In walks Dromio of Ephesus with the rope's end.
Here comes my man. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
He hands over the rope's end.
Here's that I warrant you. We'll pay them all.
But where's the money?
Why, sir, I gave the money for the rope.
500 ducats? Villain, for a rope?
500 at the rate.
To what end did I bid thee hie thee home?
To rope's end, sir. And to that end I am returned.
He beats Dromio.
And to that end, sir,
Sir.
we welcome you.
Good sir, be patient.
Nay, 'tis for me to be patient. I'm in adversity.
Good, now hold that tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his hands.
Thou whoresome, senseless villain.
I would I were senseless, sir, that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass.
I'm an ass indeed. You may prove it by my long years. I have served him from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and have nothing but his hands for my service but blows. When I am cold, he heats me with the beating. When I am warm, he cools me with the beating. When I am waked with it, when I sleep. Raised with it, when I sit. Driven out of doors with it when I come from home. Welcome home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar won't her brat. And I think when he lamed me with it, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Enter Adriana, Luciana, courtesan, and a schoolmaster called Pinch.
Come, go along. My wife is coming yonder.
Mistress, respice finum, respect your end, or rather, the prophecy like the parrot, beware the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
He hits Dromio.
His incivility confirms no less. Good Dr. Pinch, you are a conjurer. Establish him in his true sense again, and I will please you what you will demand.
Alas, how fiery and how sharp he looks.
Mark how he trembles in his ecstasy.
Give me your hand and let me feel your pulse.
There is my hand, and let it fill your ear.
I charge thee, Satan, housed within this man, to yield possessions to my holy prayer, and to thy state of darkness hide thee straight. I conjure thee by all saints in heaven.
Peace, doting wizard, peace. I am not mad.
Oh, that thou wert not, poor distressed soul.
You minion, you, are these your customers? Did this companion with the saffron face revel and feast at my house today, while upon me the guilty doors were shut, and I denied to enter in my house?
O husband, God doth know you dined at home. Where would you have remained until this time, free from these slanders and this open shame?
Dined at home, thou villain, what sayest thou?
Sir, sooth to say, you did not dine at home.
Were not my doors locked up and I shut out?
But your doors were locked up, and you shut out.
Did not she herself revile me there?
Sans fable, she herself reviled you there.
Did not her kitchen maid rail, taunt, and scorn me?
Search she did. The kitchen vestal scorned you.
And did not I, enraged, depart from thence?
Verity you did. My bones bear witness, that since I felt the rigor of his rage.
It's good to soothe him in these contraries.
It is no shame. The fellow finds his vein, and yielding to him, humors well his frenzy.
Thou hast suborned the goldsmith to arrest me.
Alas, I sent you money to redeem you by Dromio here, who came in haste for it.
Heart and goodwill you might, but surely master not a rag of money.
Whence not thou to her for a purse of ducats?
He came to me and I deliver it.
And I'm a witness with her that she did.
God in the world may bear me witness that I was sent for nothing but a rope.
Mistress, both man and master is possessed. I know it by their pale and deadly looks. They must be bound and laid in some dark room.
Say, wherefore didst thou lock me forth today? And why dost thou deny the bag of gold?
I did not, gentle husband, lock thee forth.
Master, I received no gold, but I confess, sir, that we were locked out.
Dissembling dork, thou speakest false in both.
Dissembling harlot, thou art false in all, and art confederate with a damned pack, to make a loathsome abject scorn of me. But with these nails I'll pluck out these false eyes, and that would behold in me this shameful sport.
Oh, bind him, let him not come near me.
Enter 3 or 4 and offer to bind him. He strives.
More company, the fiend is strong within him.
Ay me, poor man, how pale and wan he looks.
What? Will you murder me? Thou jailer, thou, I'm your prisoner. Wilt thou suffer them to make a rescue?
Masters, let him go. He is my prisoner, and you shall not have him.
Go, bind this man too. He's frantic too.
Dromio is bound.
What wilt thou do, thou peevish officer? Hast thou delight to see a wretched man do outrage and displeasure to himself?
He is my prisoner. If I let him go, the debt he owes will be required of me.
I will discharge thee ere I go from thee. Bear me forthwith unto his creditor, and knowing how the debt grows, I will pay it. Good master doctor, see him safe conveyed home to my house. O most unhappy day.
O most unhappy strumpet.
Master, I am here entered in a bond for you.
Out on thee, villain, wherefore dost thou mad me?
Will you be bound for nothing? Be mad, good master. Cry the devil.
God help poor souls, how idly do they talk.
Go bear him hence.
Pinch and his men exit with Antipholus and Dromio of Ephesus. Officer, Adriana, Luciana, and the courtesan remain.
Sister, go you with me. Say now, whose suit is he arrested at?
One Angelo, a goldsmith. Do you know him?
I know the man. What is the sum he owes?
200 ducats.
Say, how grows it due?
Due for a chain your husband had of him.
He did bespeak a chain for me, but had it not.
When as your husband, all enraged today, came to my house and took away my ring, the ring I saw upon his finger now, straight after did I meet him with the chain.
It may be so, but I never did see it. Come, officer, bring me where the goldsmith is. I long to know the truth hereof at large.
Enter Antipholus of Syracuse with his rapier drawn and Dromio of Syracuse.
God, for thy mercy they are loose again.
And come with naked swords. Let's blow this taco stand.
Away, they'll kill us.
They all run out, frightened, as fast as they can. Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse remain.
I see these witches are afraid of swords.
She that would be your wife now ran from you.
Come to the centaur, fetch our stuff from thence. I long that we are safe and sound aboard.
Faith, stay here this night. They will surely do us no harm. You saw they speak fair, give us gold, Methinks they are such gentle nation that, but for the mountain of mad flesh that claims marriage to me, I could find my heart to stay here still and turn witch.
I will not stay tonight for all the town. Therefore, away and get our stuff aboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now begin the final act of this totally tubular play with Act 5, Scene 1. Enter the second merchant and Angelo the goldsmith.
I am sorry, miss, that I have hindered you, but I protest he had the chain of me, though most dishonestly he doth deny it.
How does the man steam here in the city?
Of very reverend reputation, miss, of credit infinite, highly beloved, second to none that lives here in the city. His word might bear my wealth at any time.
Speak softly, Yana, as I think he walks.
And enter Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse, with Antipholus wearing the chain.
'Tis so, and that self-chain about his neck, which he forswore most monstrously to have. Draw near to me, I'll speak to him. Signor Antipholus, I wonder much that you would put me to this shame and trouble, and not without some scandal to yourself. With circumstance and oath so to deny this chain, which now you wear so openly. Besides the charge, imprisonment, you have done wrong to this my honest friend, who but for staying on our controversy, had hoisted sail and put to sea today. This chain you had of me, can you deny it?
I think I had. I never did deny it.
Yes, that you did so, and foresaw it too.
Who heard me to deny it, forswear it?
These ears of mine, though knowns, did hear thee fine on the winch. 'Twas pity that thou livest to walk there any honest man restore.
Thou art a villain to impeach me thus. I'll prove my honor and my honesty against thee presently, if thou darest stand.
I dare you and do define thee for a villain.
They draw, and entered Adriana, Luciana, courtesan, and others.
Hold, hurt him not, for God's sake. He is mad. Some get within him, take his sword away, bind Dromio to and bear them to my house.
Run, master, run, for God's sakes, take a house. This is some priory, in or we are spoiled.
Antipholus and Dromio of Syracuse exit the priory, and Lady Abbess enters.
Be quiet, people. Wherefore throng you hither?
To fetch my poor distracted husband hence. Let us come in, that we may bind him fast and bear him home for his recovery.
I knew he was not in his perfect wits.
I'm sorry now that I did draw on him.
How long hath his possession held the man?
This week he hath been heavy, sour, sad, and much different from the man he was. But till this afternoon his passion ne'er brake into extremity of rage.
Hath he not lost much wealth by rack of sea, buried some dear friend? Hath not else his eye strayed his affection in unlawful love? A sin prevailing much in youthful men, who give their eyes the liberty of gazing. Which of these sorrows is he subject to?
To none of these, except it be the last, namely some foxy mamma that drew him off from home.
You should for that have reprehended him.
Why, so I did.
Aye, but not rough enough.
As roughly as my modesty would let me.
Haply in private.
And in assemblies too.
Aye, but not enough.
It was the copy of our conference. In bed he slept not for my urging it. At board he fed not for my urging it. Alone it was the subject of my theme. In company I often glanced at it. Still did I tell him it was vile and bad.
And thereof came it that the man was mad. The venom clamors of a jealous woman poisons more deadly than a mad dog's tooth. It seems his sleeps were hindered by thy railing, and thereof comes it that his head was light. Thou sayest his meat was tossed with thy upbraidings. Unquiet meals make ill digestions. Thereof the raging fire of fever bred, and what's a fever but a fit of madness? Thou sayest his sports were hindered by thy brawls. Sweet recreation barred? What doth ensue but moody and dull melancholy, kinsman to grim and comfortless despair, and at their heels a huge infectious troop of pate distemperatures and foes to live, in food, in smart, and life reversing rest, to be disturbed would mad or man or beast. The consequence is, then, thy jealous fits hath scared thy husband from the use of wits.
She never reprehended him but mildly, when he demeaned himself rough, rude, and widely. Why bear you these rebukes and answer not?
She did betray me to my own reproof. Good people, enter and lay hold on him.
No, not a creature enters my house.
Then let your servants bring my husband forth.
Neither. He took this place for sanctuary, and it shall privilege him from your hands, till I have brought him to his wits again, or lose my labor in assaying it.
Mind your potatoes. I will attend my husband, be his nurse, diet his sickness, for it is my office, and will have no attorney but myself, and therefore let me have him home with me.
Be patient, for I will not let him stir till I have used a proven means I have, with wholesome syrups, drugs, and holy prayers, to make of him a formal man again. It is a branch and parcel of mine oath, a charitable duty of my order. Therefore, depart and leave him here with me.
I will not hence and leave my husband here, and ill doth it beseem your holiness to separate the husband and the wife.
Be quiet and depart. Thou shalt not have him.
He exits.
Complain unto the judges of this indignity.
Come, go. I will fall prostrate at her feet, and never rise until my tears and prayers have won her grace to come in person hither, and take perforce my husband from the abbess.
By this I think the deal point at 5. None I'm sure the Duchess himself in person come this way to mentally vow the praise of death and sorry execution behind the ditch of the abbey.
On what cause?
To see the reverend Syracusan merchant who put unluckily into despair against the laws and statute of this time beheaded publicly for his offense.
See where they come. We will behold his death.
Kneel to the Duchess before she passed the abbey.
Enter the Duchess of Ephesus and Aegeon the merchant of Syracuse, barehead, with the headsman and other officers.
Yet once again proclaim it publicly. If any friend will pay the sum for him, he shall not die. So much we tender him.
Justice, most sacred Duchess, against the abbess.
She is a virtuous and reverend lady. It cannot be she hath done thee wrong.
May it please your grace. Antipholus, my husband, who I made lord of me and all I had, at your important letter this ill day, a most bogue fit of madness took him, that desperately he hurried through the street, with him his bondman, all as mad as he, doing displeasure to the citizens by rushing in their houses, bearing thence rings, jewels, anything his rage did like. Can you dig it? Once did I get him bound and sent him home, whilst to take order for the wrongs I went, that here and there his fury had committed. And on, I wot not by what strong escape, he broke from those that had guard of him, and with his mad attendant and himself, each one with ireful passion and drawn swords, met us again, and madly bent on us, chased us away till raising of more aid, we came to bind them. Then they fled into this abbey, whither we pursued them, and here the abbess shuts the gates on us, and will not suffer us to fetch him out, nor send him forth that we may bear him hence. Therefore, most gracious Duchess, with thy command, let him be brought forth and borne hence for help.
Long since thy husband served me in my wars, and I to thee engaged a princess's word, when thou didst make him master of thy bed, to do him all the grace and good I could. Go, some of you, knock at the abbey gate, and bid the lady abbess come to me. I will determine this before I stir.
Adriana rises, and a messenger rushes in.
O mistress, mistress, shift and save yourself. My master and his men are both broke loose, beaten the maids a row, and bound the doctor, whose beard they have singed off with brands of fire. And ever as it blazed they threw on him great pails of puddled mire to quench the hair. My master preaches patience to him, and the while his man with scissors nicks him like a fool. And sure, unless you send some present help, between them they will kill the conjurer.
Peace, fool. Thy master and his man are here, and that is bunk thou dost report to us.
Mistress, upon my life I tell you true. I have not breathed almost since I did see it. He cries for you and vows, if he can take you, to scorch your face and to disfigure you.
Ah!
Hark, hark, I hear him, mistress, fly, be gone.
Come, stand by me, fear nothing. Guard with halberds.
Enter Antipholus and Dromio of Ephesus.
Me, it is my husband. Witness you, that he is born about invisible. Even now we housed him in the abbey here, and now he's there, past thought of human reason.
Justice, most gracious Duchess, oh grant me justice, even for the service that long since I did thee, when I bestood thee in the wars, and took deep scars to save thy life, even for the blood that then I lost for thee. Now grant me justice.
Unless the fear of death doth make me dote, I see my son Antipholus and Dromio.
Justice, sweet princess, against that woman there, she whom gavest to me to be my wife, that hath abused me and dishonored me, even in the strength and height of injury, beyond imagination is the wrong, that she this day hath shameless thrown on me.
Discover how, and thou shalt find me just.
This day, great Duchess, she shut the doors open upon me, while she with the harlots feasted in my house.
A grievous fault. Say, woman, didst thou so?
No, my good lord. Myself, he, and my sister today did dine together. So befall my soul. And this is baloney he burdens me withal.
Ne'er marry look on day nor sleep on night, but she tells to your highness simple truth.
O perjured women, they are both forsworn. In this the madman justly chargeth them.
My liege, I'm advised what I say, neither disturbed with the effect of wine, nor heady rash provoked with raging ire. Albeit my wrongs might make one wiser mad, this woman locked me out this day from dinner. That goldsmith there, were he not packed with her, could witness it, for he was with me then, who parted with me to fetch a chain, promising to bring it to me to the Porpentine, where Balthazar and I did dine together. Our dinner done, he not coming thither, I went to seek him in the great street. I met him, and in his company that gentleman.
He points to the second merchant.
There did his perjured goldsmith swear me down, that I this day of him received the chain, which God he knows I saw not, for the which he did arrest me with an officer. I did obey, and sent my peasant home for certain ducats. He was with none return. Then fairly I bespoke the officer to go in person with me to my house. By the way we met. My wife, her sister, and a rabble more of vile confederates. Along with them, they brought one Pinch, a hungry, lean-faced villain, a mere anatomy of mountebank, a threadbare juggler, a fortune-teller, a needy, hollow-eyed, sharp-looking wretch, a living dead man. This pernicious slave, forsooth, took on him as a conjurer, and gazing in mine eyes, filling my post, and with no face as twere out facing me, cries out, I was possessed. Then all together they fall upon me, bound me, bore me thence, and in a dark and dankish vault at home, they left me and my man, both bound together, till gnawing my teeth by bounds in sunder, I gained my freedom, and immediately ran hither to your grace, whom I beseech to give me ample satisfaction for these deep shames and great indignities.
My lady, in truth, thus far I witnessed with him, that he dined not at home, but was locked out.
But had he such a chain of thee, or no?
He had, my lady, and when he ran in here, these people saw the chain about his neck.
Beside, I will be sworn this seal of mine. Here you confess you had the chain on him after you first foresaw it on the market, and thereupon I draw my sword on you, and then you fell into the abyss here, for whence I think you are coming by miracle.
I never came within these abbey walls, nor ever didst thou draw thy sword on me. I never saw the chain, so help me heaven, and this is false, you burden me with all.
Why, what an intricate impeach is this? I think you all have drunk of Xerxes' cups. If here you housed him, here he would have been. If he were mad, he would not plead so coldly. You say he dined at home, the goldsmith here denies saying that. Sirrah, what say you?
Miss, he dined with her at the Porpin.
He did, and from my finger snatched that ring.
'Tis true, my liege, this ring I had of her.
Sawest thou him enter at the abbey here?
As sure, my liege, as I do see your grace.
Why, this is strange. Go call the abbess hither. I think you're all mated or stark mad.
Most mighty Duchess, vouchsafe me speak a word. Haply I see a friend will save my life, and pay the sum that may deliver me.
Huh?
Speak freely, Syracusan, what thou wilt.
Is not your name, sir, called Antipholus? And is not that your bondman Dromio?
I was his bondman, sir, but he, I thank him, not in my two cords. Now I am Dromio, and his man unbound.
I'm sure you both of you remember me.
Ourselves we do remember, sir, by you, for lately we were bound as you are now. You are not patient, are you, sir?
Why look you strange on me? You know me well.
I never saw you in my life till now.
Oh, grief hath changed me since you saw me last, and careful hours with time's deformed hand have written strange features in my face. But tell me yet, dost thou not know my voice?
Dromio nor thou. Neither.
Thou dost.
Aye, sir, but I am sure I do not. And whatsoever man denies, you are now bound to believe him.
Not know my voice? O time's extremity, hast thou so cracked and splitted my poor tongue in 7 short years, that here my only son knows not my feeble key of untuned cares? Though now this granite face of mine be hid in sap-consuming winter's drizzled snow, and all the conduits of my blood froze up, yet hath my night of life some memory, my wasting lamp some fading glimmer left, my dull deaf ears a little used to hear, all these old witnesses, I cannot err. Tell me thou art my son, Antipholus.
I never saw my father in my life.
But 7 years since, in Syracuse, boy, thou knowest we parted. But perhaps, my son, thou shamest to acknowledge me in misery.
The Duchess and all that know me in the city can witness with me that is not so. I never saw Syracuse in my life.
I tell thee, Syracusan, 20 years have I been patron to Antipholus, during which the time he never saw Syracusa. I see thy age and dangers make thee doe.
Enter Amelia the abbess with Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse.
Most mighty Duchess, behold a man much wronged.
All gather to see them.
Oh, I see 2 husbands, or mine eyes deceive me.
One of these men is genius to the other, and so of these, which is the natural man, and which the spirit? Who deciphers them?
I, sir, am Dromio. Command him away.
I, sir, Dromio, pray let me stay.
Aegeon, art thou not, or else his ghost?
Oh, my old master, who hath bound him here?
Whoever bound him, I will loose his bonds and gain a husband by his liberty. Speak, old Aegeon, if thou beest a man who that hadst a woman once called Amelia, that bore thee a burden 2 fair sons, or if thou beest the same Aegeon, speak, and speak unto the same Amelia.
Why, here begins his morning story right. These 2 Antipholuses, these 2 so like, and these 2 Dromios, one in semblance. Besides her urging of her wrack at sea, these are the parents to the children, which accidentally are met together.
No
way.
If I dream not, thou art Amelia. If thou art she, tell me where is that son that floated with thee on the fatal raft?
By men of Epidamium, he and I, and the twin Dromio were all taken up, but by and by rude fishermen of Corinth by force took Dromio and my son from them, and me they left with those of Epidamium. What then became of them I cannot tell. I to this fortune that you see me in.
Antipholus, thou camest from Corinth first?
No, sir. No, miss, not I. I came from Syracuse.
Stand apart. I know not which is which.
I came from Corinth, my most gracious lady.
And I with him.
Brought to this town by the most famous warrior, Duke Menaphon, your most renowned uncle.
Which one of you dine with me today?
I, gentle mistress.
And are you not my husband?
No, I say nay to that.
And so do I, and yet she called me so. And thus, fair gentlewoman, her sister here, did call me brother. What I told you then, I hope I shall have leisure to make good, if this be not a dream I see and hear.
That is the chain, sir, which you had of me.
I think it be, sir, I deny it not.
And you, sir, for this chain arrested me.
I think I did, sir. I deny it not.
I sent you money, sir, to be your bail, by Dromio, but I think he brought it not.
No,
This purse of ducats I received from you, and Dromio, my man, did bring them me. I see we still did meet each other's man, and I was tenant for him, and he for me, and thereupon these errors are arose.
These ducats pawn I for my father here.
It shall not need. Thy father hath his life.
Sure.
Sir, I must have that diamond from you.
There, take it, and much thanks for my good cheer.
Renowned Duchess, vouchsafe to take the pains to go with us into the abbey here, and here at large discoursed all our fortunes, and all that are assembled in this place, that by this sympathized one day's error have suffered much wrong. Go, keep us company, and we shall make full satisfaction. 33 years have I gone in travail of you, my sons, until this present hour my heavy burden ne'er delivered. The Duchess, my husband, and my children both, and you, the calendars of their nativity, go to the gossip's feast and go with me, after so long grief, such nativity.
With all my heart, I gossip at this feast.
Everyone leaves except the two Dromios and the two brothers Antipholus.
Master, shall I fetch your stuff from shipboard?
Dromio, what stuff of mine hast thou embarked?
Your goods that lie host, sir, in the centaur.
He speaks to me. I am your master, Dromio. Come, go with us. We'll look at that anon. Embrace thy brother there. Rejoice with him.
The brothers Antipholus exit.
There is a fat friend at your master's house that kitchened me for you today at dinner. She now shall be my sister, not my wife.
Methinks you're my class and not my brother. I see by you, I'm a sweet-faced youth. Have you walked in to see their gossiping?
Not I, sir. You are my elder.
That's a question. How shall we try it?
We'll draw cuts for the senior. Till then, lead thou first.
Nay, then thus. We came into this world like brother and brother, and now let's go hand in hand, not one before.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to our production of The Comedy of Errors. My name is Miss Conrad, and it has been my pleasure guiding these students into this performance. So now, let's meet those students. Everybody, turn your monitors back on. Great work, everybody. Thank you again for watching, everyone.